Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a busy old month so far, lots and lots going on the bike. And what's been really refreshing is the new regime that I've set myself for making videos has enabled me just to enjoy the bike, enjoy the rides, and just keep that footage flowing enough that I don't feel that I've got to record every single ride. So that said, we are recording a ride today. We're out on the bike, as you can see, and we're going to focus on the northwestern part of the national park today, the North Yorkshire Moors National Park, that is. And the day is very much going to be a day of two halves as far as the weather is concerned. So at the moment we're bathed in sunshine, riding on a soaking wet road. I don't know whether you can see from mirror cam there behind me, we've just had a fairly heavy shower. So I've got the waterproofs with me just in case. It is quite breezy, so these showers are going to rattle across pretty sharpish. When it rains, I'll get wet, of course. But when it's sunny, then I'll dry off pretty sharpish. And the forecast is to improve as the day goes along. So I think if I get a shower, I'm going to say I'm going to be unlucky. I do fully expect to get a shower, but they're going to be few and far between as the day stretches out. So as always, grab yourself a brew, grab yourself a beer, strap yourselves in, folks, and come with me on this solo adventure in the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. Let's roll VT.
Where do you go when you're young, when you're restless, when you're fun, cause you're desperate? Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison, what's your pleasure?
Okay then, folks, so that is the titles out of the way and a first tiny little splashette of a water splash just at the end of Pothole Lane there. So, slightly different intro, as it were. Let me explain in a bit more detail what we're up to, as always. So here we are. We just stopped momentarily, just kind of towards the top end of Skugdale. And I don't know whether you can see the wind strength up there just above the tree. Everything is moving kind of from one side of shot across from this side across to the other. Now, we're bidding farewell to a good chunk of blue sky there, and we've got some dark clouds across the waste. Just started spitting a little bit of rain just as we're going to drop into the trees and pick up this next green lane, which incidentally is called the Red Road. Nice easy trail that just takes us around the top end of Skugdale, and then we're going to work our way down the northwestern shoulder of the national park, across onto the Arden estate, and then up and through, and quite possibly just pick Louna up as well, because it's open. Why not? We rode that for the first time last weekend, and that was literally a couple of days after the temporary TRO had been lifted, so it was really nice to be back in Louna, as it were, and the lower reaches of Farndale. So yes, we are going to be a little bit damp as we click through this next rain shower, but the wind speed is such, looking up there, that these clouds are just barreling across fairly rapidly. So I would imagine by the time we're off the Red Road and pushing our way up towards Sheepwash, then we'll be back into the sunshine. So without further ado, very different intro for you there, folks. Yes, let's get stuck into this ride. Now I am on my own today, so gate duty falls solely down to myself, so there'll be quite a bit of on and off the bike action for me today, but no matter, that is all part and parcel of flying solo. But yes, a little bit of a heavy shower there, lasted for all of about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're through, and it looks like the next one isn't far behind it. And I must admit, it's, I've done quite a lot of group stuff lately, one of which was the Dales Discovery weekend. That was the last video that was uploaded. Then there was a monthly social ride the weekend afterwards. I led an ADV sectored ride on that one, which was good fun. I didn't do any filming on that, but yeah, it is certainly nice just being out, doing my own thing, riding my own pace, and I don't really have a prescribed route as such. I kind of roughly know where I'm gonna go. But yeah, it's nice. When you lead in a group, there can be quite a bit of pressure in a lot of respects, even though you know the area and you know where you're going. Generally speaking, you don't always know the people that you're riding with, or their abilities, their expectations, etc. So it can be a little bit like work almost. But it certainly is nice just flying solo, doing my own thing, stopping, photographs, just having a rest, dodging the showers. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Brilliant tonic, and exactly what is needed for what is, in real time, a nice relaxing Sunday, midday into the afternoon. Okay, so here we are, the bottom of Sheepwash. As expected, fairly busy in the car park, so I would imagine across the tops, thank you, it is going to be fairly busy as well with walkers. It is very popular. and it's got quite a bit of kind of open access to it really. They've done a lot of regrading, particularly on this section here. Well, I haven't been up for quite some time, but yeah, this used to be like really big steps, but now it's pretty tame and pretty sanitised. But it's a nice little link, this, just to take you from the Cleveland Hills, which we're just climbing up on top of now, up towards the Osmotherley area, and it's just beautiful being up on the tops. So, a little bit of a different camera mount angle for you there. We've got mirror cam is now down on frame cam, front wheel cam. If anything, don't know how long it's going to last. It is a little bit vulnerable there, so I think I'll only ride with it in that position when we're on lanes that are particularly easy and there's a very little chance of actually dropping the bike, as it were, because the camera is somewhat vulnerable just on the outside edge of the framework. Just incredible, this. I can't believe there's no people up here. So, may as well just turn the taps a little bit. Cannot believe that. That's where the path comes out. So pretty much from here we're almost guaranteed not to see anybody. And a livestock there. But yeah, cannot believe we didn't see a single person coming over Sheepwash. And that very short lane, but a very good little link lane, takes us across the road section and down to Osmotherley. And the shoulder of the national park really is what we're looking at now, right up there in front of us. And you used to, back in the day, from Square Corner, be able to ride all the way up the Drovers Road, pretty much all the way down, well, to Cold Kirby, but, you know, Helmsviews makes no difference. But you can't do that now, which is a bit of a shame, so we've got to scoot down. We're going to pick a new lane up, a new lane to me, which is a lane called Elbec. I've not done that before, so good friend Michael showed me the way with that one. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we're going to have a look at that, and that just keeps us off the A19 corridor, and then we'll come up over onto the beautiful Arden Estate. Let's kill a bike, we don't need that on. Wow, I can see this next set of rain barreling across as well, so that is looking to windward. But yeah, showers few and far between. So yeah, here we are. Hi there, frame cam, or mirror cam, or wheel cam, whatever you want to call yourself, cam. And you can certainly see from this angle how vulnerable that would be if the bike were to go down on that side. So I'll only use that on the gentle lanes. Yes, and here we are. We managed to dodge most of that shower. Got rained on a little bit, but we're still dry, still warm. It's 17-18 degrees. And here we are on the opening sections of Elbec. And as I say, this is a brand new to me trail, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes towards the end. I believe that it does kind of narrow down a little bit. Right, let's get that camera. Oh dear me, the things you do for YouTube. And this is the beauty about riding on your own, I guess, is you can just faff around to your heart's content. Come on then, camera. Did you work? A little bit wet. Hopefully that worked. Now that sees us through the water splash and on our merry way. Yeah, so I think we are predominantly dual track, but if memory serves me right from Michael's video, or certainly his guidance through here, it does kind of drop down to a little bit rutty and single track later on, and it certainly kind of looks that way in places, but we'll just have to see, won't we? It's always nice riding a new lane. I've got this on OS Maps as always. Check the legality of it first. Yeah, it does look like it is kind of losing that dual track element to a certain degree. Oh, another little water splash. This is very nice indeed. I'm liking this so far anyway. I guess if I have to come back, it's no real hardship, is it? The only hardship, I guess, being on your own, is the plethora of gates. Yeah, I could certainly see this being a little bit tricky in the winter time, certainly on a larger, heavier ADV bike for sure, but it is a bit rutty in places, but as we can see, it is astronomically dry, look, so we can just kind of cross route and take awkward angles, etc., most of which we wouldn't be able to do in the winter time, particularly because the particularly because the soil is quite clay based as well, so that would make it very slippy sloppy. But it is a bonny little lane, and it keeps us off the A19, which is good. See, these are the bits that you'd struggle in the winter time when you don't have that lateral grip. Just double check the map. Yeah, we're all good. We are all good. I'm back on Tractor Fest now as well, which so whilst the ruts are fairly deep, they are well, they are deep as well. And we've lost Tractor Fest straight away. So I guess this is what Michael was talking about when he said that there are sections that just drop down to single track. Yeah, that looks quite rutted. Would imagine this in the wet would be quite the challenge. Kind of spindle deep in mud and slip slopping around, but not too bad today. Not too bad today at all. I guess if you're going to try a new lane, particularly if you're on your own as well, it's always worth doing it in the dry or after a prolonged dry spell. How pretty is this? You know, I've always said there's something just nice about riding through the trees, riding through a tunnel of trees, and that's certainly what we've got there. That is very, very nice indeed. It's a little bit akin to Thoresby Lane, this one, but in the North Yorkshire Moors, or on the shoulder of the North Yorkshire Moors. Yeah, this is really, really pretty. Wow, could you imagine living there? Look at that. What a beautiful, beautiful house. So we'll just keep our speed down, keep the noise down, and respectfully pass through. Beautiful, beautiful spot. And I guess for us, we're probably kind of just about done, I guess. That's marked on the map as a ford. There's absolutely nothing in it. Another beautiful little cottage. This place is gorgeous. Yeah, really glad I did that. So road section now, and then we're through the little village of Kepwick and up onto the Arden Estate. We've done very, very well for dodging these showers. We have had a few incidentally, but they have typically been when we've been through the wooded areas, so that has lent quite a bit of shelter. A few spots of rain in the air now, but we can see a lot of blue sky up ahead. So again, whilst we've come through that wooded section, we've very definitely just missed another shower. So yeah, really, really well so far. Well, I don't know how much of this you'll pick up on either of the cameras. Let's give you a little wipe S, but yeah, we've certainly lost all the visibility, and it is raining quite hard on us here now. But I do believe, looking in the mirrors there behind me, which is where the weather's coming from, that it is going to break fairly shortly. So yes, fingers crossed indeed. But I guess we had to get one heavy shower before the day was done, and hopefully that'll be it. But I must admit, it isn't unpleasant. As odd as it sounds, it isn't unpleasant at all. Certainly not enough to warrant stopping and putting the jacket on. I reckon by the time I've done that, the rain will probably have passed over. So yeah, it had to be on the most open and exposed part of the ride as well, eh? Figures. So it looks like we dodged the rain there, just came through that heavy shower, and luckily there was a chap there that just opened the gate for us. They said there's some horse event across the top, so we just seen a horse. So as always, engine off and just sit and wait and let them go past. Absolutely no rush whatsoever. Okay, so on we go. We've got a following wind now, the weather's behind us, and we're looking out eastward across the top of the Arden Estate. Superb. Arden Hall, this is the namesake of the estate. Now, believe it or not, this is actually a public road. It does feel like you're riding down to their house, to the lawn, but look at that. What an absolutely beautiful, beautiful building, just tucked away here at the head of the valley. Hornby's the nearest, I say village, it's a hamlet, but that place is absolutely gorgeous. North Yorkshire really has got some very prestigious houses tucked away just on these little backwaters, little back lanes, etc. Oh, we are very, very lucky where we live that we have the Yorkshire Dales on one side of us. There's a massive playground, just mile upon mile of green lanes, public roads that are accessible for us for taking the bike off the black top, as it were. And then on the opposite side we've got the North Yorkshire Moors, and that's where we are today. So yeah, we've very definitely got the pick of the crop. And as you can see from these trees here, the wind is still rattling along. It's still very, very warm, 16, 17, 18 degrees depending what's happening with the weather. And yeah, we're just working our way now back more in towards a homeward direction. So we've had quite a few lanes in between these filming spots, which is just really, really good, just brilliant. It just allows me just to relax and just take it all in, as much as sharing the footage with you guys, which is the sole purpose of the channel, of course it is. So the next stop we're making is the absolutely, utterly beautiful, all-time favourite of mine, which is Colden Mill. And here we are, just entering the woods of Colden Mill. Going to stop and just have a little bit of a refreshment break up here somewhere, just somewhere suitable, somewhere where I'm not blocking the lane, of course, trees in your face, and ideally somewhere a little bit sunny and leafy. That's pretty much what Colden is. This still ranks as one of my all-time favourites. I absolutely love it down here, and you can certainly see why. I mean, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Just dappled shade, sun breaking through the canopy. And any time of year, summer, spring, winter, autumn, doesn't really matter. Autumn is just absolutely fantastic, to be fair, with the colours. But any time of year, Colden Mill is just a magical place to ride. If you've never done it, I would certainly highly recommend coming and having a look at Colden Mill. This is utterly beautiful. And it's nice to just take a steady pace up through here. Ideally sort of around about the gate is probably where I'll stop for a little bit of food, I would have thought. Yeah, this is quite pleasant here. Let's get up there near those logs. And you can certainly see why I really like Colden Mill. Just have a look around us there, just behind the bike, dappled sun shade just coming through on this beautiful track. And I'm obviously heading a little bit more in a homeward direction, so I couldn't think of a better place, completely out of the wind, in the sunshine, no rain, just to stop, have a little bit of a refreshment, and also a hot cup of tea. Just absolutely perfect. So I'm just going to chill here for 5 or 10 minutes, just have a brew, and then the next lane I'm going to pick up, which is arguably becoming one of my favourites as well as this one that I'm on at the moment, which is Louna, and that will look spectacular with the sunlight coming through the trees. It literally is the trail that gives you everything, albeit on my own it might be a little bit problematic today because it's also known as the trail with 1,000 gates. So that gate duty is going to keep me busy as I work my way up through the lower reaches of Farndale. Well, that was a very welcome little refreshment break there, I must admit. Very pretty, very picturesque, just sat in the trees, completely quiet apart from the noise of the wind in the top of the canopy and a few birds just tweeting away. So this sees the transition now over into Farndale. And we're in the very southern end of Farndale, and we're going to pick up a very favourite lane, which is Louna. Now Louna, the lower sections of Louna have a TRO put on them, a traffic restriction order for the winter months, just purely because the ground can get quite soft, and with a lot of bike traffic etc over it, it can get quite damaged. So yes, here we are. This is the start of Louna. And it's always an indicator how many cars are here in terms of how many pedestrians, how many people that we're likely to encounter. So let's bid you guys farewell on Miracam. Thank you very much, folks. And we'll just switch over to Lidcam and get this bad boy moved as we work our way through Louna. So with any luck we'll not meet the walkers on the tight section, which is just a little dip down into the water. But these opening sections, as you can see, are just absolutely fantastic. Flying my face already, not good. Yeah, absolutely fantastic, just through the trees, dappled shade, and here we are, that steep descent. Just we drop down into the water. There we are. And this is quite it's not a committed descent, but it's one that you don't really want to kind of mess about at too much as you go through. Very slippy on the bottom there, I know that. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. They hang a left there, but really you got to be hanging a right. And here we are to our first one. This is the Lane of 1,000 Gates, and there we are. There's our first one indeed. Oh, the joys of Louna, eh? Let's get the front wheel up against that stone there. Perfect. And once we're through, we're just into a little bit of meadow. Just following the stream across to our right hand side there. This is just utterly beautiful, and it is so nice to have Louna open again. I've got to be very careful with this lane, particularly on the heavier bike. Obviously I pick my weather. I don't want to come across here after prolonged rain, but certainly when the weather is as is at the moment and the trail's as dry as it is, this is just utterly gorgeous. And there's another one. Now, as with any trail, we've always got to be very respectful of livestock, property, etc. And I think, for me, never more so than on Louna. And the reason being is that there are a few sections of this trail where you quite literally, or almost quite literally, ride over the front of somebody's lawn. And here is one such place, Birch Cottage, owned by Ian. Lovely, lovely man. Very, very friendly towards bikers, etc. However, and it is a big however, we do need to respect his property. He lives here, we're just passing through temporarily. So I always say to any groups, and I'm on my own today of course, but if I'm ever leading a group through here, is we don't stop, we don't hold conversations, and we don't ordinarily just have the bikes sat on tick over while we're having a general chit chat. We just quietly work our way through to keep that noise very transient and minimise any disruption to Ian in the beautiful Birch Cottage. And here we are, we'll see it now. How gorgeous is that? And whilst we're not necessarily on Ian's front lawn as such, we just need to be very respectful about the noise that we make as we move through and around his property. And I think for me, what I like about Louna as a trail is it is the trail that gives you everything. One minute you're you're on rocky single track stuff, then you're down in the woods, and then you're by the rivers and the meadows. This is just a beautiful trail. I mean, how could you not like this? And there can't be that many trails that you come along really that you can ride a big heavy ADV bike on, you know, with kind of averaging sort of skill sets at best, I would say, for myself. Obviously I'm no Paul Tarris, he will find this an absolute breeze, but yeah, this is just idyllic, just spectacular. And you pop out of the woods and here presto, you're back into the fields and the meadows. So this is another one of those houses, those properties, residentials, where we do quite literally on this one pop out onto, pretty much onto their lawn. And it looks like they're having a barbecue as well. So two things here, just be very mindful with the throttle, both for noise and leaving a scar on the ground. And the second one, of course, is being respectful to the people in the house. Oh, look at that. Superb. Good afternoon. Oh, it smells good. It really does smell good. Nearly. Almost. Oh yeah. Say again? It's heavy, yeah, it's heavy, but Yeah, kind of, but I quite like the idea of being able to take the bigger bike on the smaller bike trails. But I've got to pick my weather, of course. You know, if it's too soft, you just make a mess everywhere, which isn't ideal. But yeah, but at 200 kilos, it's kind of heavy enough. Cool, lovely. Yeah, enjoy your barbecue. Always nice, just to be nice, just to have that little bit of conversation. Are you going to stay there? Yes, you are. Yeah, no. This is the lane of 1,000 gates. Thank you. What lovely, lovely people. Lovely, lovely people. Right, this one is one of those that we need to leave the bike very much in gear. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Actually, let's... That looks a bit better. Okay, right. Kill the camera, because we've got gate after gate after gate. And of course, in the winter time, the upper section of this lane is open, and this is where it intersects, where it joins. This is Thunderheads. We've been down there a couple of times. A little bit rocky and bumpy and lumpy, not really suited for an ADV bike, but it does enable you in the winter time to get down to the upper sections, or the northern end of the Louna Trail. But I must admit, all of it linked together makes it a very, very good lane to do. As long as we have been, we've just been very respectful of the property, the landscape, and anybody else that we meet along the way. Oh look, another gate, fancy that, must be on Louna. And then very quickly we're back into this very narrow single track stuff. Oh look, another gate. They're never in. Oh, that's a to me gate. Whoa. And just look how beautiful, beautiful Farndale is. Very quickly the track changes yet again, and we're onto this very single track, kind of forging our way down this little wooded coppice. And when I say Louna is the lane that just gives you everything, it gives you plenty of gates to keep you busy, keep you fit on and off the bike, of course. Why did I do this one on my own? But in terms of the terrain that you ride over, it quite literally does give you everything. This is just superb. Out of all of the lanes that I've done today, I would say that Colden Mill is very picturesque and very bonny, and it's a nice lane to ride. But by far this lane, and here's another one, we pop out onto somebody's lawn as it were, but by far Louna gives you the variety that you need. Oh look, that gate's open, so we will stop in a suitable spot and close the gate. That certainly doesn't bode very well for any trail rider coming along here, TRF or non-TRF. And again, it's all just about respecting people's properties, etc. Will the bike stay there? Yes, it will. And you can see what I mean. I mean, how beautiful is that house? And understandably, yes, people are very tolerant of motorised vehicles coming through here. Of course, typically bikes, it isn't a four-wheel drive track. But when you look at the view that they've got, the peace and the tranquility, it's very understandable how people can get irked just by simple things like leaving a gate open. Not really responsible. So, on we go. So I do believe this next stretch is gate free up to the farm, and that pretty much is Louna done and dusted. Absolutely amazing. Oh, this gate's closed as well. Absolutely amazing lane, but I must admit, wow, I am hot now just with on and off the bike constantly. Yeah, I am baking hot. Oh, how nice is that? Get a little bit of cool breeze through. So the next stretch is pretty much homeward bound now. So we're heading down towards Low Mill, I think it's called, and then we climb up church houses, up onto the top, Rudland Rig, and down towards the final water splash in Stokesley, just to give the bike a little bit of a rinse off. And why not? Absolutely amazing day, and I really hope that we get fantastic views over the tops there. It's going to be very, very windy, very blustery, but no matter, we'll still enjoy it all the same. Oh, so I do believe I'm threading the needle here, as it were. I've got black there behind me. I've got blue skies just to the left of me. That's where the wind is coming from. And directly in front of me, I've got black as well. So, yeah, I think I'm just, hopefully, if I can just maintain this speed, and that lot passes over me as I work along the flanks of Farndale Valley, then all the better. And whilst I'm down here, look at this. Absolutely incredible. Just with that Postman Pass-esque landscape, the dry stone walls just laced across the side of the valley. What could you not love about North Yorkshire, eh? I mean, even the houses just absolutely spectacular, very commanding and foreboding in some respects, and then you have these quaint little cottages just tucked into the folds of the land. This place truly is magnificent. So this sees us arriving at the foot of church houses. We've got a little bit of a western sun, so we're going to have that in our face as we climb up the hill, but that shouldn't be too much of a drama. And wow, look at that indeed. I actually flicked the camera on here as a little bit of tongue-in-cheek jest. Yeah, this used to be the worst gate in North Yorkshire. It was held together with chewing gum, bootlaces, tie wraps, goodness knows what, but wow, look at that, a proper steel gate. And is it hung correctly? Yes, it is. It stays open. Fantastic. Okay, so this is the climb up church houses. We've just come up to the first gate, and we've got frame cam down there. Hopefully that will survive the trip. A little bit loose to start with, but then when we get some momentum, we lose these concrete slabs. Second gear, climb baby climb. Got to be careful of the livestock. I do enjoy this climb out of church houses. I do enjoy it. It's kind of got a lot going on, but without it necessarily being, you know, every hill's a momentum hill, of course, but without it being, you know, an outright momentum hill, it's just a good fun hill. And it takes us up onto the top, which is very plateau-esque. They've done quite a lot of regrading up on the tops now. Here we go. Beautiful. Oh, and here's that rain. I didn't quite thread the needle then. Wow, man alive, it is windy up here. Well, hopefully frame cam is getting a little bit of this lofting. Wow, what a place. What a place indeed. Woo, that is windy. And this is the intersection of Rutland Riggs. So Rutland Riggs from our right, Bransdale to our left. And this really has been sanitised now. Last weekend when we came over here, right, hopefully the wind noise isn't too much. Yeah, so as you can see, this has been sanitised. Last weekend when we were over here, we actually caught the tractor that was dragging a piece of machinery. It looked like the trail's been bladed as such, and you can see with the ridges left and right. So a lot of the potholes, aka puddles, etc. have been filled in, and we can certainly see behind the bike there's a huge amount of hardcore that's waiting to go in at some point. So yeah, I'm not going to film this bit, but we will film when we get over the top and we pick those spectacular views up. And hopefully, looking at this weather, I think that's all of the rain done. Give you guys a wipe. That's all of the rain done and dusted now. We can certainly see it all barreling away behind us. And I say there, coming up through Farndale, I believe we definitely did thread that needle. That is very dark over there, and we've lost the sight of Rosedale Abbey. That's gone, and we were pretty much in this centre belt. So let's get on our merry way and across the tops. Okay, so here's the grouse butts to our left hand side on the way down. That usually signifies where we're just about to start to open up those views across to the Yorkshire Dales and the Northern Pennines. And whilst it's a little bit mixed today, just with those showers barreling across, we really do get one immense sense of elevation when you're up here. And it is a relatively, you know, I wouldn't say it's a boring track. Of course it's not a boring track, it's a good track. It keeps you engaged, but it isn't challenging at all. And the views that they certainly make up for the lack of challenge in the trail. A little bit breezy today with that crosswind, just keeps you on your toes a bit. And when we crest over the top here, we certainly feel that we're very, very high. We see all of the trail. That is just one spectacular view. Look at that, would you? Just wowzers. How could you not love this, eh? And little drainage humps along the way, just to give you that little bit of air. Got to be careful on the way down. Just need to be powering on over the top of these jumps, otherwise the back end does flick up and become a little bit tail light. You can't back off, that is for sure. You've got to give it a little squirt as you go over them. But it's nice to feel that front suspension just unload a little bit and just get a couple of inches of free space under the wheels. Here's another one where we just crest over the top and we get a view opening out in front of us. Wow, look at that. Just amazing. Two, one. Wowzers, has the forecast come good or what? Look at that. Not quite wall-to-wall sunshine, a little bit of white fluffy clouds, but yep, those dark barreling rain clouds, those menacing rain clouds, they have long, long gone. So here we are then, we're on our closing lane, or we're just about to be. On our closing lane, very little to no water in the bottom of this one. This is another one, it's church-esque, so this is Church Lane. We've been up church houses, this is now Church Lane. I've really enjoyed today. It's been absolutely fantastic flying solo, just riding on my own, doing my own thing. Lots of camera faffery, but that's always good when you're on your own. I don't mind doing that. And yes, so we'll get across this little splashette, and I do believe it will be a splashette today. There's not going to be a vast, wow, it's more like a puddle than a splashette. Look at that. Still a little bit muddy though. So yeah, we climb up here and then we are done and dusted. So if you have stuck with me to the end, then thank you very much for your company as always, guys. Now, it certainly helps the YouTube channel in terms of growth if you leave a comment. That just lets the algorithm know, the YouTube algorithm, that people are watching and people are commenting. And obviously if you give the video a thumbs up and a like, that also helps as well. So the final thing for me to do, as always, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, then please do so. And wherever you are in the world, guys, whatever you're doing, enjoy your ride, keep it safe, keep it shiny side up, and we will, hopefully, we will catch you in the next one. Cheers, folks. Bye now, bye.